Well, this morning, strong winds could potentially create dangerous conditions for some Utahns, and that includes power outages, signal problems, and road restrictions. Joining us with the latest on the conditions is Joe Doherty with Utah's Division of Emergency Management. Joe, thanks for being here. We always appreciate your time.
Hey, good morning to another windy day.
Good morning. Joe, could we start with the travel restrictions on I-15? Why is it so important to adhere to those, and have there been any tipped semis?
Yeah, like Jared mentioned, it's really important that high profile vehicles really pay attention to those restrictions because it is so easy for those vehicles that are much taller or hauling trailers to tip over in high winds. It doesn't take much more than 65, 70 mile an hour winds to knock over a semi. And I got to tell you, as I was driving in this morning, I live in Davis County, I passed 35 beautiful semis, all upright, all parked, all waiting for that restriction to be lifted. So as of right now, I'm aware of two semis that have tipped over and one that's jackknifed. One semi tipped over last night in Box Elder, one is jackknifed in Box Elder, and we did have one semi roll over up Parley's.
Yeah, these conditions are nothing to take lightly. Could you provide an update on any current damage or power outages caused by the windstorm right now? What are people experiencing?
Yeah, this is a lot different from the 2020 windstorm. I know we'll talk about that in a second. But right now we're looking at just really only around 1,000 Rocky Mountain Rocky Mountain customers without power right now, which is so much different from 2020, where we got up to around 170,000 customers without power for many days. I think that this is a much different windstorm than what we experienced back in September. There's definitely going to be a few trampolines that have left their yards. Some garbage cans have tipped over. We've seen some vinyl fence damage, but we really don't expect to see a lot more than that.
Joe, what advice do you have for Utahns living in areas that is at risk for power outages right now? What can they do to prepare?
Yeah, so right now the wind is still coming. We're under these warnings, so it's a little hard to do your preparedness now, and that's why we tell people it's never too late to prepare until it is. So right now, let's start your checklist for the next windstorm or the next power outage event. A few things you want to keep in mind. Some people would really love to rely on candles to provide light in their homes, but just remember, you're adding an extra risk of fire in your home. So a better option would be a battery-powered lantern. Make sure that you have some extra batteries on hand to power that lantern for when those batteries run out. Really, that's one of the main things that people want, is they just want to see. And you really don't want to have to rely on your cell phone flashlight while you're trying to maneuver around your house. So an extra source of heat is always helpful. But again, you don't want to bring something that's combustible into your home, like a grill or something like that. So remember, extra blankets, make sure those parkas are still available.
Joe, we have to wrap pretty soon here, but I want to get this question in. How does this storm compare to the windstorm of September 2020?
Yeah, like I mentioned, so we saw a lot more damage. We had thousands of tons of debris that were generated that the state helped residents haul from neighborhoods from Salt Lake all the way up through Davis and Weber counties last fall. And so this was just a much different event. Back then, I think our highest gust was around 97 miles an hour. Today, we've seen a gust around 84 miles an hour. So a much smaller event, definitely something more manageable for everybody. And no doubt some people are going to be waking up shortly and finding out that they've lost a few things here and there. But I think we're going to get through this one just fine.
Thank you for putting all of this into perspective. You've been hearing from Joe Doherty with Utah's Division of Emergency Management. Joe, thank you for joining us. We always appreciate your time.
Thank you.